Let the work speak for itself. Those were the words of Special Counsel Robert Mueller today at a very brief press conference at the Department of Justice.
Any testimony from this office would not go beyond our report. It contains our findings and analysis and the reasons for the decisions we made. We chose those words carefully, and the work speaks for itself.
Now, Mueller largely stuck to his report about the allegations that Russian entities looked to interfere in the 2016 presidential election, but said there was not enough evidence to charge a broad conspiracy theory against the Trump campaign. Now, when it comes to obstruction of justice, he said he had to stick to policy that prohibits the sitting president from being charged, even under a sealed indictment. That brought a lot of questions up, so we have to ask the experts, and we bring in our 360 view to our political panel. Democratic strategist Anthony Tall and Ned Ryun, CEO of American Majority. Ned, I know you're chomping in the bit to get to this, but I'm going to actually start with you, Anthony. Anthony, did Mueller just tell the world that President Trump is guilty but couldn't be charged just because he was president?
Pretty much as far as he could go out on a ledge by saying that, yeah, I think so. When he says that, you know, if we could say that the president didn't commit any crimes, we would. You know, for a prosecutor, a lifelong prosecutor, and someone of Mueller's distinction to say that, I think he went out on a limb and said, yeah, the president committed crimes, but I can't say he committed crimes because of the policy, and I can't charge him, so therefore I'm going to let Congress handle it. I think that's exactly what he said.
Something that obviously just put fuel on a fire that we thought was going to be going out. Ned, what were your thoughts as you listened to the press conference today?
Well, honestly, Scottie, I thought I was looking at a political hack announcing a completely new theory that was in defiance of our tradition in American legal system, that somehow we've just discarded the presumption of innocence. And what I saw Mueller trying to announce today is that somehow somebody that has not been charged with anything is not innocent. Again, I look at this and think to myself, no collusion, no conspiracy. And again, the AG and the deputy AG decided that there was not enough evidence to have any obstruction of justice. I thought it was deeply irresponsible of Bob Mueller to do what he did today, although you did point out in the intro, a lot of what he did is simply restating what was already in the report. The fact of the matter is, Scottie, I don't think today changed anything because Democrats are already intent on moving down the path of impeachment. They want to nullify the 2016 elections. But also, as you start to look at these election models for 2020, they might be thinking right now the only way they can beat Trump in 2020 is to impeach him. Well,
it's interesting that you bring up that Hail Mary of the impeachment. I want to address that with you, Ned, but I have to actually bring this up with you, Anthony, on this. When you were watching everything that was going on today and you were listening to that press conference, did this, you know, everybody's got to have a villain. And what we saw today in that press conference was nothing new, no information sold, but did it not look a little desperate? Like Robert Mueller was like, please do not pull me in front of Congress. It was like telling him publicly, you pull me in front, I'm not going to say anything that you haven't already got. Anthony, could this also kind of backfire? Was this more of a look over here by Mueller, I'm going to blame everything on Trump and the Russians, but just don't bring me in front of Congress kind of thought?
Well, yeah, I was a little surprised by that. I mean, I would think that Mueller would want to, I mean, there's several questions that I'm sure the Democrats would have. Like, did you try to investigate the president? What happened when you tried to investigate the president? You know, there were several questions they could have went down. And for him to kind of say, well, I'm only going to testify to my report, I didn't think was the best way to go about it. So, yeah, I agree with you. I do think that Mueller kind of like just passed it over here and kind of said, okay, the president is kind of guilty. I can't do anything about it, so whatever happens, happens. But I will say this. I do think that what he has done, he has moved the ball towards the fact that, you know, are the Democrats going to do anything? Are they going to stand on any principle? Because at this point, now we have Amash, the representative out of Michigan, who's more to the left of Bernie Sanders and of Nancy Pelosi. Right. So I can't see how any longer the Democrats can sit on this and not say we're going to start impeachment. I think he made a big move today, and we'll see what happens.
But that's interesting you bring that up. Ned, impeachment. Don't Republicans welcome, please, the rally cry of impeachment by the Democrats? Don't Republicans kind of welcome that, saying, because, you know, it didn't even work out for yourselves when you cried impeachment. Bill Clinton got reelected. Let's go down the line. The only threat that actually had any result was Nixon. But at this point, you know, if that's the only rally cry that Democrats have, don't Republicans at this stage kind of welcome it?
Yeah, no, I think it could be a huge rallying cry for the base in 2020, Scottie. The fact of the matter is, and Nancy Pelosi knows this, if you saw her comments today, she understands the political reality of what they're up against, even if the House Democrats move towards impeachment. Again, I'm not convinced they have the votes. A lot of these centrist Democrats that won these swing districts in 2018, how are they going to go back to their districts in 2020 and try and win re-election based off, I think, the thinnest of excuses for impeachment? But on top of that, how on earth do they think the GOP Senate is actually going to convict and remove Trump from office? All they're going to do is a fool's errand if they go down the impeachment path.
I'm going to give you, Anthony, the last word. Real quick, respond back to that.
Scottie, that's not the point. The point is whether or not they're going to stand on principle. And I do think the Republicans are bluffing. And I think Trump does not want to be impeached. No president wants to be in history with only 3 other presidents. So I think that the Democrats need to make up their mind. Are they going to stand on principle? Because if this was the Republicans, like when they impeached President Clinton, they just did it. They didn't care about getting the votes.
Well,
so of course he's not going to get the votes.
We'll see how this all works.
Go for it.
Well, I'm about to say both parties right now call for it. Let's see how it works. The problem is, I don't think the American people have the stomach for it, and that's where the ultimate vote ends with. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you enjoyed the video. We have tons of content for you just like this. For more of RT America's one-of-a-kind news and analysis, be sure to subscribe and never stop questioning more.